Hey everyone, Björk Finn Benediktsson here from Audio Issues, author of Step by Step Mixing. And this week I'm super excited to team up with Jay-Z Microphones to give you this video about vocal recording and vocal EQ. Before we get into the video, please make sure you enter our giveaway because we are giving away one of their Black Hole 2 microphones. It's a studio condenser microphone, the one that I'm actually speaking into at the moment. So these mics are amazing. I've known Jay-Z microphones since I was an intern at a recording studio here in town, probably 11 or almost 12 years ago. So they have been around for a while. They're known for really beautifully handcrafted microphones. They have a cool look to them. They just look like nothing else. And I think they look really cool. But obviously it's not just about how they look, but they sound spectacular as well. We used these quite a bit actually during our Haybale Studio sessions at the Bonnaroo Music Festival a couple of years back. And they never disappointed. So you'll be happy to have this guy in your mic locker if you win. So make sure that you don't forget the giveaway ends tonight. So make sure you enter to win. The link is in the description below. So do that before you forget, and then come back and we'll talk about vocal recording and EQ. So I'm actually going to use this microphone to capture some backing vocals for a virtual choir I'm doing with Joby, a Norwegian artist who is also one of my insider members. He's working on a Scandinavian folk song, or Scandi folk, as Spotify likes to call it, if on their playlist. So there. And we wanted to add a big choir to the final chorus, but of course, recording a choir breaks literally every single social distancing COVID rule in the book. So we came up with another cool alternative, which is everybody recording their voices at home in their studio, and then we're creating a virtual choir inside the DAW. And now it's my turn to record the vocals for his part. So a few things about vocal recording that you should keep in mind if you are recording your own vocals in your home studio is use a pop filter. You don't want those annoying P and T sounds to ruin your recording. So these can be easily bought anywhere. This is actually a Jay-Z pop filter that I actually had lying around. They did not send me the pop filter too. I just like their microphones so much. But make sure you use a pop filter. This one's really sturdy, really cool. But honestly, even torn pantyhose over a wire hanger will work. There's also the pencil trick that I've seen. That's never really done it for me. So I just like using a pop filter. So putting it in front of the microphone, placing yourself sort of, if you fan your hand out like this, that's usually a good starting distance for your vocal recording. Secondly, you want to take the home out of your home recording, which means you don't want your vocal sound to sound like it was recorded in a roomy room or a tiny bedroom. You want to get as close to a professional sound as you can. And you can actually easily do that just with some simple acoustic treatment, some strategically placed acoustic treatment. First, you want to possibly secure, if you have a reflection filter or something of the sort, you want to secure your mic inside a reflection filter, or you have a reflection filter around the mic so that it reduces any reflections coming off the walls in front of you. Also, you want to put some acoustic treatment behind you. That way, there's not going to be reflections bouncing off the walls or resonances, weird resonances bouncing around the room, off the wall, behind you, and into the mic. You want to get as clean of a recording as possible. So strategically placed acoustic treatment around you and the mic will go a long way towards getting that clean and clear vocal sound. And then finally, once you've taken care of those acoustic problems, make sure that you get a good take and an emotionally driven performance, because if you have that as your ingredient in the mix, it's going to be so much easier to mix and you're going to get that emotion shining through. All right, I'm going to go and record these vocals and we're going to put them into the DAW and we're going to take a listen to that in there. All right, see you in a bit. All right, so I recorded these vocals here. He sent me the parts the baritone, the alto and soprano, and the bass. The bass was a little bit too low for me, and I could do a sort of a fake falsetto soprano here, and none of these voices are perfect, but they will do fine as a part of a 47 part choir, so I don't think I need to worry too much about that. And when I say perfect, I of course mean my vocal performance. Me not being a singer means that I am not only self-conscious about my singing, but it could probably be pretty good, but I won't hear it because I'm too self-conscious, something that many vocalists actually deal with. The microphone sounded great. I dialed in a sound, added some reverb on the vocal so I could feel more comfortable singing in the headphones, something that you should keep in mind when you are recording other vocalists as well, or yourself, of course. Make sure that you have a good headphone mix and that you are comfortable singing. And make sure you don't record too loud because you don't want to accidentally overload the preamps or anything like that. There's no need for digital clipping. It sounds awful, and you definitely don't want to have to deal with that in the post-recording phase. Just get it right at the source, and everything will be much, much easier. So make sure that you are recording on, the sort of at 60-70%, sort of where it's green and good, I guess, on your levels. As you can see on the black hole frequency response, you can see there's a bit of a bump here between 50-ish down up to about 90 or so. For a vocal recording, that won't necessarily be used at all because we will be using a high-pass filter, but it's good to know in case you're going to use it on other instruments that have a bigger bass response, or you need to or bass instruments in general that you need to use this mic for. But there's a nice little bump here in the clarity section between about 2.5K to about 6K. And that's great because it adds clarity and some presence. And when I recorded the vocals, I thought it all sounded pretty decent here. Just without any processing, I think I put it through the console, and I just had a little bit of compression on the way in. I didn't actually use any of the EQ. And there's a high pass filter at 100. Yeah. So I just kept that in there. I didn't need that bump at 60 hertz, I think, because the parts that I'm recording now, they are very much backup vocals, and they are very much a part of a gigantic other whole. So we don't need any of that low end information. It's perfectly fine like this. So just to give you an idea of what things are starting to sound like, this is all work in progress. I just enjoy showing you the process and showing you sort of the behind the scenes of what I'm working on so that you can hopefully get some tips to use in your own sessions. But this is what Joby has so far, with all the other insider members lending their voices to his virtual choir. And this is what we got so far. This is a pre-mix, of course, but you get the idea.
Starlight, we will wander in the swaying open field. Under starlight, we will wander under starlight. Under starlight. Under starlight. We belong. We belong. We belong. We belong.
And now, just to end the video, I wanted to go give you a quick crash course in vocal EQ. I have the 3 voices that I recorded here, so I'm going to go out on a limb and play those soloed for you and suffer the consequences as well. But as you can see on the teaching EQ I have here, there's boom between 50 and 150 or so. There's mud around 200. The sort of honkiness of the vocal is between 300 and 400 or so, and then it gets sort of nasally around 1 to 1.5K, harsh in the 2K area, and then piercing in the 4K area. and then sibilance is usually around 6 to 7 K, and then it gets a little hyped here in the high end. Of course, all of these vocal EQ areas have positive qualities. So boom and thump and punch are in the same place. Warmth and weight is in the low mids too. Tone and power is in the mids. Attitude, edge. It's every negative frequency that you're trying to get rid of. Also, that same frequency range has positive qualities as well. So it's up to you to figure out what sounds bad and what you need to do in order to take that. Find the bad frequencies first, take those out, and then enhance the recording that you're left with and add some boosts there accordingly. So I'm just going to sweep around just sort of so you can hear what these frequencies, what it sort of sounds like. So I'm just going to sweep around here so we can listen to that.
We belong, we belong, we belong.
As you can hear, there's a high pass filter on there, or there's not a lot of low end information on those vocals, so there's not really anything going on up until I get things in the low mids here.
We belong, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong.
So as you can hear, that's sort of hunky, boxy, sort of if you were to cup your mouth with your hands, it kind of sort of sounds like this. And that's where that 300 area lies, or that's what that 300 area does to your vocals.
We belong, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong.
And that sort of makes it sound like the singer has a cold.
We belong, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong.
And so notice how it's harsh, and then it gets even more sort of annoyingly piercing here, and then it really adds those S characters. He's not, well, the vocalist, me, isn't really saying any, I'm not pronouncing any S's really, but you can still hear the sort of the tone of the sort of sibilance area there. So that's a little bit of vocal EQ for you. Hope that was useful. Please do remember to enter the giveaway, because you can win one of these mics as well, the Black Hole 2, a stellar microphone, excellent, and just looks beautiful. So a great addition to your mic locker if you win. So use the link below in the description and enter to win today before the giveaway ends. So I hope you found this video useful for recording vocals, sort of preparing to record vocals, and sort of knowing what to do during the vocal recording process. So special thanks to JZ Microphones for being a partner for this video, and do remember to enter the giveaway to get a copy of the Black Hole 2 if you win. All right, thank you very much for watching. I'm Björkman from Audio Issues. Have a good day.